Hello, good morning. This is Anna Imagination with Shifting Perspectives from the Healing Garden. This is going to be something I talk a lot about going forward. Graves's spiral dynamics. And how do I even begin? I gained some information a couple days ago, about 2 days ago, on Wednesday, that just exploded my perspective and filled in a lot of dark holes in my mind. It did not shift my perspective. It strengthened it. It enforced it. And it confirmed what work I had done. I built Triadic Healing over my life based off of trial and error and intuition, common sense, and the information I picked up off of philosophy. When I needed something, then I stepped into the world of psychology. My concern with psychology is Freud. Everything is based off of Freud's work. Freud was a very smart man in the 1800s. However, he was talking from the dark. And as a result, basing psychological information off of Freud's work, in my opinion, is almost as equivalent as pulling up Egyptian records to study medicine. It's great for studying ancient history and seeing the core basis of it and how it got started, but I don't put much value in it when it comes to actually building what's going on with our brains. So his work on the id, the ego, and the superego, in my opinion, is bullshit. It's great for what he did. It was revolutionary at the time. It served its purpose, which was to wake up the world and make them realize, hey, there's something here. However, there's a lot of people still clinging to that id, superego, ego. Now, I am all over the id, the identity 100%. The ego, there is an ego. What Freud calls the ego is absolutely, in my opinion, I disagree with Freud completely. Superego, that in my opinion is garbage. I have been through that work so much and it just is garbage to me. So Jung is actually and Jung had a solid basis in philosophy. In fact, I found Jung because I was studying philosophy, and this man popped into theology and gave a psychological explanation of what theology is. And I fell in love with Carl Jung and psychology at that moment. So Carl Jung's work is more, I ring true more to the work that Jung did. But, and this is where reality check. Let's all bring this down. Psychology is a philosophy, which means it's just a bunch of opinion. Everything is opinion. The fact that the psychology we have today is being passed around like medical science pisses me the fuck off. How dare they? It's not, there's no metric that can measure anything. The stuff that I flout and say is also philosophical hypothesis. It's all theory. It will always be theory because we cannot prove it because there is no metric. Not yet. I am also a weak agnostic, which is a, quote, religious, unquote, school of thought or religious practice belief that we don't have the answers, but we might someday. So that's where I stand on my school of thought. So this whole concept of psychology being a hardcore science is bullshit. No, it's not. It is a philosophy. And if you are practicing or studying psychology and you have not touched philosophy, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out. So, because psychology branches off of philosophy, and philosophy is the core gut of psychology. But 90% of psychologists today haven't touched Socratic method. They haven't touched philosophy. So there's a lot of people out there now spouting that this is medical science when it's not. And they'd know this if they had studied philosophy. These are people who haven't studied philosophy, haven't questioned the forefathers of psychology. So there's a lot of really contaminated, dirty water that's mingled in with some basic truth when it comes to psychology. And that is that it's all opinion. Let's keep that in mind. Now, which is why it doesn't work for everyone, which is why a lot of it doesn't work, which is why so many people regress through Alcoholics Anonymous. If It doesn't work. If you regress, it doesn't work. So if you go to therapy and you regress, fail. If you go to Alcoholics Anonymous and it fails, or and you fall off the way, I don't know the terminology, and you go back to the bottle or whatever your addiction is, fail. And yet so many people are spouting about how great it works when it doesn't. I read a meme the other day about this man, really, truly kudos to this gentleman. He tried to get sober 50 times. He's finally sober 50 times. Good for him. That's perseverance. He has my I commend that man. Truly, truly good for him. And shame on the fucking system for failing him 50 times. That was not a failure on him. That was a failure on the system being that fucking inadequate. So yeah, I question the damn system. Because in my book, in my standards, he should have only tried once. Not because mental illness is hard, but because when you promise something to somebody, you better fucking deliver. And that's where I have a problem with psychology today, is people are promised and they're not delivering. The fact that poor man had to go through 50 trials because the system is that inadequate. And then people will turn around and vouch how great Alcoholics Anonymous is. No, it is shit. And this is why. I want something better. I want something where there is no regression. Ever. It works every single time because it's solid. That's what my goal is. I want something better. I think everyone deserves something better than what we have. And it starts by admitting that this is not fact. It is philosophy. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. So now that we have this understanding, Dr. Graves' spiral dynamic is huge. For some reason, we're not taught it. Not in psychology, not in therapy offices, not to the general public. It's been around since the 1970s. Dr. Graves released a study showing the evolution of human transformation. This is on an individual study, not on a sociological study. This is individual, what one person goes through with their entire life. You are doing this. You are on this spectrum. There are currently 8 stages. We are pushing 9. We will be pushing 9. We're at 8 right now. Okay? No one's made it past 8 yet. That being said, when we are born, we are a level 1. This is I require a caregiver. If you require a caregiver, you are a level 1. If you are disabled and incapable of taking care of yourself, such as feeding yourself, Stephen Hawking. This is interesting because Stephen Hawking is a level 1, but his mind was a level 7. So that's interesting because we're going to do this. Let's talk about mentality, not physical requirements. Let's talk about mentality, the mindset that you require somebody to take, the intellect. That needs to be clarified because that was not clarified in the webinar I watched. And I immediately went, well, that's not true. And I understand why. She may use the misword. So the word is mentality, the intellect. So the intellect is level 1, but she was using babies as an example and the elderly as an example. And that's not true because the elderly might have a level 7 intellect. So I think the webinar instructor I had was not adequate. So a baby is level 1 where they require a caregiver, and then they will go up to a level 2. A level 2 is somebody who is, we see this with 8-year-olds, we see this with 10 and 15-year-olds. And 8 and 10-year-olds have a mentality of that's your superstition, they believe in magic or Santa Claus, that kind of a mentality. We see that a lot with people who are lower education on a spectrum, definitely lower education. As a societal whole, this is tribal mentality. This is where you are defined by the role you have in your community. And if that role is taken away from you, you lose your identity. That is the mindset, is you are defined by the role you have in your church or your community or your society. And if you lose that role, you lose who you are. The next stage up from that is the aggression stage. It's the realization that you are one and that you don't need the community and you are independent from the community. It's what children and it's what teenagers go through. The family, in this case, is the unit. The child prior to teen years thinks, I have a role in the family, and this is all that matters to me, is my role in the family. My brother, my 30-year-old brother, is very much in this mentality where he is defined by his role in the family. And outside of the family, he is nothing. Family is everything. And everything within that family unit is all that matters. And he will sacrifice himself for the good of the family. That being said, when a teenager hits their teen years, when an individual reaches their teen years, they evolve into the next stage, level 3, which is the aggressor stage. This is where they start to realize that they are separate from the system, that they can be one, and that they are one, and it's every man for himself. This is that dog eat dog mentality. It's the I don't need anyone and no one needs me, and I'm going to crush anyone who gets in my way because they're going to crush me first. Now, when you couple that with a rogue identity or an undefined identity, that aggression goes to a whole nother level, which is what we see with teens who have been suppressed. If the teen is healthy, loved, nurtured, and their fear system is turned off, the teenager goes through the basic independence. I don't like the word aggression. It should be highly independent. It's not, it should not be aggression at all. It's hyper independence. That's it. It's severe independence. It's believing that no one has your back. It's believing that you don't need anyone, that if you rely on someone, you're going to be disappointed. So it is super independence. And then so aggression is actually mislabeled. That's inaccurate. I knew that was bugging me. I knew it was bugging me because they were like, well, we have level 3s who take the test and we find out that they're not aggressive at all. And I'm going, well, that's an inconsistency. If it's inconsistent, it's wrong. When are we going to figure this out? When are we going to accept it? If it's not 100% consistent, it's not good enough. Science doesn't shit around with this. They don't run an experiment and go, look at that. The penicillin only worked 50% of the time. Let's market this. No, they went, nope, 100%. You have to pass 99 point something percent of accuracy rate in science in order for it to be considered accurate. But in psychology, 20% accuracy rate is good enough. Let's put it out there and market it. No, not good enough. I want 100%. I want to be on the same standard as science. That all being said, we're shooting in the dark with psychology. So with this particular thing, it's labeled often as aggression, and it's not aggression. What it is independence. And once you realize that it's independence, basically there's this really highly independent. Now, most people, there is this really highly independent stage that we all go through. Now, most of us who are abused are in this independent stage. People who get abused in level 2, they are usually abused by level 2s who are obsessed with religion and making sure everyone conforms to the good of the family or the good of the religion. I grew up in a level 2. And it was the level 2 mentality that put me into the level 3 of hyper independence, which I was there when I was literally 4 to 8 years old. Like I was a level 3 at 4 and 8 years old. And then that independence, and it usually is birthed from a mentality of no one's helping me during my abuse. I have to help myself. That's where level 3 comes out. And then there is a graduation level from level 3 that goes into level 4. By the way, narcissists are level 3. All narcissists are a level 3. Narcissists are obsessed with making sure that they can control, making sure that they can have it on. This is all part of that hyper independence. It is very much a level 3 mentality. Someone can toggle between the different levels. It is not you are just a level 3 or you are just a level 4. That is black and white thinking. We need to get back into that spectrum thinking. You can be a 3 and a 4. You can toggle the 2. You can be a 3 and then slip back to a 2. You can be a 4 and slip back to a 2. You can be a 5 and slip back to a 3. That is common. We have our prime mental function and our tired or I'm hangry mental function. So we all have 2 functions. And whenever we have our mental function at our lower mental function is always 2 steps lower than our upper level function. Now, I was told by that lady that everyone always declines 2. I don't agree with that. I believe that a person with mental discipline and awareness can decline only to a 1. So it's like, for example, if you're a 2, where would you decline to? According to her theory, you would decline to a -0 or to a 0. That doesn't make sense. If you're a 3, you would always decline to a level 1, which doesn't make sense. In a case of a 3, you would decline to a 2, which is the case. So again, I think she delivered some inaccurate information. And then you have, but she also wasn't a therapist, psychologist, or a philosopher. So with a level 3, that's again your independence. That's your hyper independence, where you don't need anyone, no one needs you, and everyone is in your way as a dog. It's very much a Slytherin attitude. The 4s are your, I love the government, I love the community, I love the family, I love the police. It's that very tight knit, I love my religion, and it's this. That's your 9 to 5. That's your rules, and that's your morals, and that's your ethics. And this is where a lot of when people are hyper independent after abuse, this is where they slide into, because they embrace rules, because they associate rules with safety. This is where most people are, is a level 4. This is your 9 to 5. This is our society right now. We are a number 4. Well, especially in the 50s, we're starting to get away from it. Actually, I think it's like a 50-50 now between 4 and 5, because there's a lot of people there's an entrepreneur burst right now. And the entrepreneur burst is happening because people are leaving the 9 to 5 going, this is garbage. But there's a lot of people who are still hardcore dedicated 4s. My father is a 4. So the 4s are that attitude of the conformist. They love rules. They love the structure. They love everything within that 9 to 5 structure. And they think everyone should be within that structure. And it should be their way or the highway. That's kind of their level 3 thinking creeping in there. And it's kind of left over, but it's really that structural level 4. I did not get along with 4 ever. Yeah, I did not do level 4 ever. Like, I stepped into level 4 and went, well, this sucks. And then I went right over to level 5. I was a level 5 by the time I was 16. And that's where both of my children, 2 of my children are. My 15-year-old and my son is a level 5. They are both already thinking about, what business do I want to own? They're already an entrepreneur mind. They took a glance at number 4 and went, well, this is garbage. When we go to school, we are in a level 4 society. School is level 4. So, and school coaches us and teaches us how to live and function as a level 4. School is all about, yay, level 4. We want team spirit, and we want support, and we want to help the community. And that's all level 4 stuff. All of that's level 4. So you get away from, make sure you're there on time. Make sure you have exactly 30 minutes to eat. That's level 4. That is very much a serve the society mentality. That's where communism flourishes. Moving on to level 5. Level 5 is where people say, I'm sick of all the structure. I want my own freedom. I am my own independent self. And that's when you start to respect the self more. Level 4, the self is dead. Level 5, the self is revived. And you say, no, I am as important as the system and the society. I am more important than the system and the society. I can do my own rules. I can break my own laws. I can do my own thing as long as I'm not hurting anybody. You start to create your own personal law in level 5. Personal law is power. Personal law is amazing. So level 5 is when you step into this wonderful world of entrepreneurship, and you want to gain more money. You love competition. That was another thing that was said, is you love competition. That's not true. I've been a level 5, and I have always hated competition my whole life. Competition is bullshit. I compete with myself, only with myself. I have never in my life, you put me in a competition and I go, well, I quit. I will quit before I compete. Boom. I don't compete. I don't ever compare myself to anybody else. I will not do it. I have never done it. The only time I've done it is when I had borderline personality disorder. That's the only time I ever did it. It was a mental fucking illness for me. That's what comparisons is. To me, it was just a mental illness. So this whole competition thing, I don't do it. I won't touch it. So level 5 is your entrepreneur. It's I can be my own boss. I don't need someone to treat me like I'm a child. I don't need, I want to be able to create my own product and put it out there. I want to push myself and learn. I want to grow. This is all level 5. In some of the examples I've seen, level 5 is labeled as materialistic. And again, I think that's bullshit, because I have never been materialistic. I think materialistic is a bully word and a label that narcissists refer to people who have more than they. So That being said, there's a lot of bully words like lazy and materialistic that narcissists use to label people who are different from them. So then the level 6 is when you start to become more consciously aware of the planet. That's when you start to think more about the safety of the planet, organic food. This is where you start to contemplate vegetarianism. You start to realize that we're all connected and that your actions affect other people. This is where hippies really start to embrace that mindset. In fact, level 5 and up, you really start to kind of 5 breaks into that hippie mentality. And then by the time you get to like level 6, you are like full-fledged hippie, which is why level 4s really hate the hippies, is because a hippie is levels 4 and 5, and level 4s, the Republican conformist, is a level 4. The conformist Republican hates that everything to do with them. And in fact, most people who are a level 4 hate everybody above them. Everyone who's a 3 hates everybody above them. It's not until you hit level 5 that you change and you go, oh, well, I hate everyone below me. You get to level 6, and level 6s are like, yeah, I don't like anybody below me. And then you get to level 7, and then it's, okay, we're all the same, we're all the one. And there's a bigger picture here, guys. There's a bigger picture here. There's a much bigger picture. Everybody is needed. Everybody has a part. We need the 1s. We need the 2s. We need the 3s. We need the 4s. It's absolutely an extraordinary thing that happens between levels 5 and 6. It really is. You get to that, and that's why hippies are so free love. That's why they're so aggressively like, you free love. Everyone loves everybody. That is 6. But 6s also think that they're better than everybody else occasionally, because they start to, again, it's that slipping back to level 4. You're a 6, but then you slip back to a 4. It's that I'm superior. Like, oh, I have enlightenment. So you think you're superior. I went through that stage. We all are. Everyone always goes through these stages. And then once you finish level 6, there's this snap between 6 and 7. And that's where everything breaks off, and boom, that's the matrix. That's the matrix. When you pass from 6 to 7, it's earth shattering. And that's when you completely separate yourself from the patriarchy. That's when the patriarchy is completely out of your life. That's when you step back and you go, oh, I understand now. That's when you see the matrix. And everyone between levels 1 and 6 are living in a matrix, living in a society that the system wants you to see. When you reach level 7, you're outside of that. And you can see how the system shifts and moves within the matrix, and how it relates to you, and how you can shift and move around the matrix. So for me to go and get a day job right now, I can't. It's not possible. It's not possible. Not fucking possible. Now, a level 4 is not going to understand a level 6. So my parents are a level 3 and a level 4, and I'm a level 6, 7, 8. On a bad day, I'm a level 6. And when I'm in a level 6, that's the day I think, oh my God, do I have to go get a job? But on a good day, like I start every morning, and you always start the morning. You almost always start the morning at your higher level. As you get tired around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then you slip back to your lower function, which is your other level. So I always start at a level 8, which is why I do the best work when I'm up in the morning. This is why I'm podcasting at 8 a.m. in the morning. It's because I get up and I'm higher level. By the time I hit 2 o'clock, I'm at my lower function. I'm now back to a 6. I can feel it. And that's where I say, okay, I need to go do self-care. I need to go sit in the ethereal pool. I love you. Goodbye. And another reason why I'm huge on, I can only work up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. God, it's wonderful just seeing your place in the universe. And this is the thing for me, is my evolution was suppressed because of my abuse. So I felt like I've been needing to be at a level 8 for 20 years. I've been needing to be here for 15, 20 years. And I finally just got here, which is why once I hit level 6, once I hit level 5, boom, I literally jumped like 3 levels. I went 5, 6, 7, and 8. I jumped 4 levels in a few months. And it was extraordinary. I recorded it all. So if you actually go back and look at all my podcasts, you can see my evolution. You can see how I was a 4, how I was a 5, how I was a 6, how I was a 7, how I was an 8. And my Witch's Corner, that when I developed Witch's Corner when I hit 7 and 8. It's beautiful. So you can actually, like the Healing Garden records my evolution of this process. It's extraordinary. And it's because I was intellectually a level 8 being forced to live with level 4s. And this is where they said, oh, well, you have to, it's linear. No, it's not. That's black and white thinking. And now I'm a level 8, but I didn't do the required work appropriately and in order as is ideal because I was enslaved up until 2020. And then I had to do a lot of mental work to fix that. And when that happened, I lost a lot of the foundational work required to actually build a business from the ground up slowly. So now that I'm a level 8, I'm already going, okay, I needed to build the business. A year ago, I was a level 6. A year ago, it was May of 2022 that I leveled up to a level 6. I'm trying to think, I was a level 6. That was absolutely me going from level 5 to level 6. And it was, so now it's like playing catch up. So that's where I'm at. I'm at 8. Once you hit level 7, calm, just solid, steadfast calm. If you are the person ever to sit there and say things like, I want to live in a state of pure fearlessness, calm, and trust, you are seeking level 7. You are seeking level 7. If you want to manifest, you are seeking level 7 and level 8. This is where manifestation takes place, 7 and 8, which actually ties into what I want to talk about later, but I'll get to that in a minute. So this is actually, no, that's going to be another video. I'm going to focus on graves and then what Triadic Healing does. So this is the graves spectrum. And with 7, it's very much so you get to 6 and then you break off, and that's the matrix. That's where the matrix ends. That's when you exit the society and you find the patriarchy, but that's when you leave the patriarchy and you realize that gender doesn't exist. When you get to 7, you start to abandon gender. When you get to 8, yeah, it's really, I'm very much in Brave New World here, like very much. It was about a week ago where I went, gender doesn't exist. I'm not comfortable using he, she, her anymore. I don't like those terms. I like we, because I'm a we. We are all we's. I see everything in them and we and us. And that's now how I'm thinking. And I was playing my Sims game the other day and I changed my pronouns to we and them and us because I see us. I am 3 individuals. I can see identity, intuition, and the self. And I call this a self-sailing system where I am tuned into identity, my love, what I love, desire, dream, want, my conscious awareness, myself, the thing that is aware of all of my moving parts and how they feel and shift, and intuition, that pull that I get guiding me, saying, look, you need to go here to do this, you need to go over here to do that. I refer to that as the self-sailing system. When you are tuned into that, you realize that you are one of 3. That you have a subconscious mind, that God, this feels so right and it feels so good. That's my intuition speaking right now. That's my intuition going, this is right. Everything right now feels right. And me telling you all of this right now in this moment feels right. Like I'm supposed to tell you this. This is the self-sailing system. It is the thing that tells us where we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to make decisions, how we're supposed to move. It's the feeling that says, look, just be patient. It's coming. Just wait. And it's the feeling that I had that said in 2020, go to New York. In 2020, I totally tapped into my self-selling system. And when you hit 6 and 7, when you're at 7, you are fully into the self-sailing system. You have tapped into it. 6 is something else completely different. That's when that's like I said, you're thinking about the planet, you're thinking about recycling, you're thinking about the ecosystem, but you haven't really tapped into the ethereal world yet. You're dabbling in astrology and tarot cards. A lot of people are, I meet a lot of 5s and 5s, low 6s who are obsessed with tarot cards and psychic readings. 7 and 8s is a whole nother level. Like I said, you get out of the matrix, you leave the patriarchy, you leave the 9 to 5, and you do not get to call yourself a 7 or an 8 until you've left the matrix. That is absolutely outside of the matrix territory. So what that looks like, a level 7 is when you realize how we're all interconnected in the energy field, in the energy pool. Scientists call it the energy field, how it moves with each and every object, how you can push one choreographed event and it just shifts and moves others, and how it reflects, how energy is money and sex and words. And when you exchange one energy for another, it's this beautiful choreographed dance that we're all flexing and moving around each other. And it's understanding that this unit has basically molded a group of people. So it's shifting like this in the sea. It's this massive ship in the sea. And the energy pool is the ocean itself. And I'm on my own ship and I'm looking at this giant, massive thing. It's like a carrier ship. And I'm looking at this carrier ship, and everyone has to conform to the rules within the carrier ship. And I'm on the outside of the ship on my own vessel, looking at it, just going, okay, I'm going to go over here now. And I drive my little ship and I voyage over here. And it's an understanding how we all move and flex. And the carrier ship cuts through the ocean. Whereas people who are 7 and 8, they flow with the ocean. They go with it. They move with it. They understand where it needs to take them. They trust it. This is the world of divine trust, where you know you're going to be all right because the divine is going to take care of you. Absolute, solid, and complete divine trust. There's more. And this is where I get quiet and I say, you don't get this information until you get here. This is information that, no, I don't like talking about this until. So those are the Dr. Graves levels of the spiral dynamics. Understanding where you are and where you want to go is a huge part of it. You don't think about wanting to go anywhere until you reach the end of level 4. That's when you're ready to start to exit the society. But you think the society is just the day job. It's not until you reach level 7 that you realize it wasn't the day job. It was the whole system. It's the words you use. It's perspective. So that being said, that's the Graves. Now, I'm going to talk about Triadic Healing. When I learned about the Dr. Graves' spiral dynamics, I went, oh, well, that's what I did. I created a how-to. Triadic Healing is literally combining philosophy, psychology, behavioral science. I'm going to call it behavioral science from now on. I am not going to call it psychology anymore. This is officially me announcing behavioral sciences, because psychology has been tampered with and now I don't relate to it. And now you have to have special degrees and and it's bullshit. There's just too much dirty water. There's too much dirty ethics inside psychology. So I'm referring to it henceforth as behavioral sciences. Behavioral science and holistic arts and philosophy. Heavy on the philosophy. I used these 3 studies, combining them together, and I created Triadic Healing. These are the same steps I used to get to level 8. Hi, I'm a level 8. It is amazing. It is extraordinary. You are so important. Everyone here is important. We need everybody. Everybody's not going to evolve between levels. This is the fear that we all have when we think, I want to evolve, I want to change. And there's this integrated, deep-seated fear. It's the realization that you are leveling to the next stage of transformation and you can't take anyone with you. They may or they may not come. Everyone has to move along this at their own pace. And with every stage that you move, this is human reality. You leave people behind. This is why teenagers break away from parents and go estranged. This is why people reach level 6 and suddenly their conformist parent hates their hippie daughter. This is why. And it's a truth. It's a reality that my level 2 brother doesn't understand me and can't understand me. And now I'm a level 8. And I'm looking at him and I understand him. But boy, does he not understand me, because he's a level 2. Because everybody who is level 5, level 4 and lower hates everybody from higher than them. And level 5 and 6 hates everybody lower than them. Triadic Healing teaches you how to go from all of these to a level 8. So how far do you want to go? How far do you want to go? I can get you to level 8. I'm currently working on research right now to get you to level 9, to get me to level 9. I figured out something last night while I was sleeping, and I have something to release. I have something extraordinary that I'm about to go release that is about level 9. I'm still like, oh my God. And now that I understand this, I know that I am in shifting perspectives. So I'm going to talk about levels 4, 5, and 6 here, and then I'm cutting it off. 7 and 8, I go to Witch's Corner. I do not talk to you about level 6, 7, or 7 and 8, because I know I'm talking to a level 4 over here. And I know a level 4 is going to hear 7 and 8 stuff and call me an asshole or an idiot or a million other horrible names that they come up with, because that's what they do, because that is how they live, because that's how they have to see the world. They need their perspective. They are dependent upon the system that enslaves them. They have to function within it in order to be okay. And I want them to be okay. It was something, I watched The Matrix the other day. Highly recommend the movie. And it was something Morpheus said that really, really shifted me where I needed to shift. These are people who are in the system. They are slave to the system. They need the Matrix. They believe the Matrix is real, or I'm sorry, they believe the world the Matrix has been shown to them. They need the Matrix. They are dependent upon the Matrix. You take the Matrix away from them and they will not function. That was a real hardcore lesson for me to learn. That the people who I seek to help, who are levels 4, 3, 2s, and 1s, they need that perspective. So suddenly I softened and I went, no, because I see the big picture, because I understand that we need everybody. I'm not going to force anybody ever to heal beyond what they can, because they're just not ready yet. I cannot rush bread to bake. I cannot rush bread to bake. So it gave an entirely new meaning to the word patience. Impatience is a lack of understanding that people learn at different paces. That's what impatience is. It is a lack of understanding. Nothing else, nothing more, just a lack of understanding. I gained that understanding over the last few days. And that is where I stopped toggling between 7 and 8. And I settled into that solid 8 and went, I understand. I felt another perspective shift and I went, okay, I am here now. I understand. So once you understand Dr. Graves' spiral dynamics and how we all fit in this vast comprehension of where we all are, you have to really ask yourself, do you want to leave your level? And it's okay if you don't. Perfectly fine. But understand the difference between, just be aware that you're asking questions, that you might be asking questions that pertain to level 7 and 8, like manifestation. If you're level 4 and you're asking questions that pertain to level 7 and 8, you understand that to pursue those questions is going to elevate you to the next level. Now you can choose to remain where you are. That's fine. You must, if you're going to remain dependent upon the system, that's okay. That's your best. That's absolutely okay. That's fine. But be aware there are consequences if you keep poking the bear, so to speak, that you are going to level up whether you want to or not. And again, that's okay if you do. There's a walkthrough. Sometimes the universe pulls us to evolve whether we are ready or not. This is people getting left behind. You know, it's so funny. A couple weeks ago, I was very aggressive about no one can be left behind. And now I'm going, no, people have to be left behind. They absolutely have to be left behind. Is it a terrible existence? For me, it was a terrible existence. That doesn't mean it's a terrible existence for you. It was a terrible existence because I was an 8 trapped in a level 4 existence. That was hell for me. But if you're a 4, living a 4, I really am very happy for you. If you are a 2, living a 2, good for you. You have achieved your happiness. And I finally have achieved mine. Happiness is knowing where you are in that spiral dynamic and being there. For me, I have to go on. I have to always try on. I have to, because I must always be bettering myself. But now there is no dire need because I'm finally where I need to be. And I definitely feel my growth still happening. I feel me pushing the next level. I had that epiphany last night that opened up a whole nother realm, and I'm going, okay, let's step into that realm next. And I'm going to keep going. And I understand. So I've mapped out my path. I've mapped it all out. It's in Triadic Healing. I show you what you need to do. I show you how far you can take it. Now, if you want to just use Triadic Healing just to heal, I can do that. I have it broken down so you can do just that. If you want to use Triadic Healing to evolve to your next level, that's part of it. I can do that too. And if you want to take this to as far as level 8, I've got that too. If you want to use Triadic Healing to become a better parent, it's available. I have it all. So Triadic Healing is the how to evolve yourself and manage and navigate through life and these currently eight levels of Dr. Graves's spiral dynamics. So now that you understand the spiral dynamics and you understand that Triadic Healing is literally the how-to guide, there's many ways you can take advantage. You can get on a call with me. We can talk about all the different ways that it can work for you. If you need my booking call, it's listed down below. You can fill out a form and then I will be in touch with you to schedule your appointment. Or you can take a look over at my shop at the Healing Garden. Take a look there. I have available membership. Membership is extraordinary. Membership gives you access to my classes every month, which is $1,000 per class. And it gives you access to my workshop, my daily workshop, Journey into the Self, which is like a 30-minute, 1-hour classroom where we go in and I show you how to use all of the skills and plug them into the actual coursework. So you get that with membership. I have just the Power of Self course where you learn about the power of self with Triadic Healing. And that's the monthly, that's ladder. So the first course gives you the basics. The first course is the one you need to start with. Do not go on past that first course unless you've taken the first course, because you're going to have no point of reference. And then I should probably relabel it just Triadic Healing so people know this is Triadic Healing. Everything else is just an expansion off of Triadic Healing. And then I have my master classes. If you want to just get right down into it, you know you're a level 6 or you know you're a level 7 and you have to be there, but you're stuck at level 4, master class, that's for you. That's exactly what they were designed for. As soon as you sign up for a master class, I go live. I immediately go live and I start just pulling all this information, and I will walk you through 6 to 8 weeks of, all right, you're at level 4, we're going to get you up there to level 8. This is how to do it. So if you are like hardcore about wanting to expand yourself from levels at anywhere you are by level 4 all the way up, master classes for you. If you're wanting to just improve your life or heal or just tweak a little part of it, that's really where you want to go for power into the self or power of self. That's what those courses are for. And if you are wanting or needing that extra help, if you're wanting that one-on-one, if you're wanting the workshops, fantastic deal, absolutely beautiful stuff, then that's where you want to go into that membership. Membership is $120 a month. And it includes the Triadic Healing and the Journey into the Self. And the master classes begin at $5,000, and then the expansions go up from there. And you can mix and match the expansions. You can get the full bundle is $30,000 for all of the expansions plus the bundle. So if you're wanting to completely max this out, that bundle pack is probably what would be best suited for your goal. So and again, there's always the ability to jump on a call with me, tell me your goals, and then I can guide you accordingly to what the garden can do best to serve you. So all the links for everything is down below. Go ahead and browse through everything, take a look. And again, thank you so much for your support. And I also have light working available. I do light working. I have Operation World Peace and World Manifestation Day, where I take level 7s and level 8s, and we work on light work and manifestation day. So thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.